Good afternoon and hello from Rocket Lab Mission Control. It is just after 5 in the afternoon on August 2nd, and on your screen is our Electron rocket on the pad at Launch Complex 1 as it waits for liftoff of our 29th mission at 5:30 p.m. New Zealand local time. My name is Muriel Baker. Thank you for joining us for this national security mission for the National Reconnaissance Office, our second in a row for the NRO, launching from our second launch pad, Pad B, at LC1 in Mahia. I'll be with you through the broadcast of this mission from Rocket Lab's Mission Control Centre in Auckland, almost 600 kilometres from our launch site on the east coast of the North Island. We have a 2-hour launch window this evening that should afford us some beautiful evening views from Electron as it leaves the launch pad. All is tracking well on the launch readiness front as our team makes their way through final checks and procedures for today's mission. However, we do have strong gusts of wind coming through that may see us go into a hold at T-minus 12 minutes. We'll get that update during the operator poll coming up shortly. However, our mission today is NROL 199 for the National Reconnaissance Office, which we've nicknamed the Antipodean Adventure in reference to the partnership between the NRO and the Australian Department of Defence. We'll talk more about the NRO shortly, but as we approach that T12-minute mark, let's check in with the team in Mission Control for the Go, No-Go poll. This is the final check-in from each of our operators in Mission Control and at the range that the specific system or part of the mission that they're responsible for is ready for launch. Let's listen in.
All operators, this is the LD on mission with the call for proceeding with the go, no-go sequence. So please note that we are still monitoring winds and looks like ground wings may be an issue at T0, so we may end up calling it before we get to the T0 point and recycling from there. But let's go ahead and proceed with the go, no-go sequence at this time. Stage.
Stage is go.
Avionics.
Avionics go.
GNC.
GNC is go.
Vcon.
Vcon is go.
T1.
T1 is go.
GC.
GC is go.
PLS.
PLS is go.
RSO.
RSO is go.
MET.
MET is monitoring winds, currently under caution, as noted.
Copy that. MM.
MM is go.
SVMD.
SVMD go.
LD sub.
LD sub is go.
That completes the no-go sequence. We are T-minus 10 minutes and 50 seconds and counting. We are go for terminal count at T-minus 10 minutes. From this time, the 3-word hold procedure is in effect.
All right, you heard it there from Mission Control. It looks like the NROL 199 mission has been declared go for launch, as confirmed by our launch director there. So, coming up on today's flight, our flight today carries the national security payload designed, built and operated by the NRO, whose missions provide critical information to more than 500,000 users, including government agencies, the Department of Defence, lawmakers and decision makers. The NROL 199 mission will strengthen the office's ability to provide a wide range of timely intelligence information to national decision makers and intelligence analysts to protect the nation's vital interests and support humanitarian efforts worldwide. Here's more from the NRO.
For 60 years, we have been making the intelligence that keeps America safe possible. We are the leader in developing, building, launching, and operating our country's space reconnaissance systems. Our adversaries are moving fast, so we are moving faster to stay above all threats. We are going beyond, building resilience in everything we do, innovating faster to create the technology of the future. With a world-class workforce, alongside our partners and allies, our future is built on more than half of a century of unrivaled success in space operations. The National Reconnaissance Office, above and beyond.
Originally, NROL 199 was due to launch within 10 days of NROL 162, before the NRO decided to implement payload software updates to its payload before launch. Our responsive space capability, though, is about launching for our mission partners when the satellite is ready, whether a spacecraft is early, late, or ready to go at a moment's notice. And with multiple launch pads, a private range dedicated to Electron launches, and experienced launch personnel with strong launch and space heritage, we are primed and ready to fly for our customers whenever they need us to. And with NROL 199 on the pad with Electron and ready to fly today, we're looking forward to launching another national security mission for the NRO once again. A quick note that at the NRO's request, we will not be showing views of their payload, so we will be ending the webcast shortly after Electron's second stage separates the kick stage that will carry the payload to orbit. Now at T-minus 7 minutes and 39 seconds and counting, the conditions for launch are looking good. There have been no changes to that green status from the go-no-go poll we heard earlier, and the payload and Electron rocket remain healthy on the pad. Today's mission is the second national security launch in a row that we're deploying for the NRO on Electron. The NROL 162 mission that you'll see in this video coming up shortly was launched just 3 weeks ago on July 13th from Launch Complex 1, Pad A, and was the NRO's third launch this year. After leaving the pad on that mission's nighttime launch, Electron completed a perfect pass through launch milestones, including max Q and stage separations, to quickly make its way to orbit. As well as building on the NRO's relationship with its ally and mission partner, the Australian Department of Defence, NROL 162 was the first demonstration this year of the NRO's capability to fly missions from overseas locations, with today's NROL 199 mission being the second. We've actually flown 2 other national security missions for the NRO on Electron before. The first was on our 11th Electron launch all the way back in January 2020, and the second was on our 12th mission later that same year. NROL 151 was the first dedicated launch for the NRO from a spaceport outside of the United States, and the first mission deployed to space under the NRO's rapid acquisition of a small rocket contract known as Razor. The following 3 NRO payloads, known as Razor 2, flew on a commercial rideshare mission alongside smallsats by NASA and the University of New South Wales Canberra Space, together with the Australian Air Force. And now, of course, we're here today with our 4th national security mission for the NRO from Launch Complex 1, scheduled to lift off in just a couple of minutes. Let's take a closer look, though, at the rocket supporting today's mission. At only 18 metres tall and slim enough that 2 people holding hands can wrap around its 1.2 metre diameter, Electron is a 2-stage rocket powered by 9 Rutherford engines at the bottom of the booster and a 10th space-optimised Rutherford attached to the second stage. Within the rocket's nose cone sits what is technically our 3rd stage, which we call the kick stage. This payload platform has an engine of its own called the Curie engine, and it was with this kick stage and an upgraded Curie that we created Photon, our interplanetary spacecraft that helped shepherd the Capstone satellite to the moon for NASA from this same pad just a few weeks ago. The white bands you can see on Electron are where the liquid oxygen propellant comes into contact with the atmosphere and condenses, causing ice to form on the outside of the rocket. We use a mix of LOX and RP1 in both stages to power the Rutherford engines, which, in the main stage, chews through 12 tons of that propellant mix in just a few minutes of launch. With 2/3 of Electron's length and the majority of the rocket's cost made up in that first stage, it's this section of the rocket that we're focused on recovering and reflying on future missions to make Electron a reusable rocket. Those of you who have followed our recovery escapades for a while will know that red on the rocket's interstage usually means recovery, but to integrate recovery hardware and systems into our Electron production, we are starting to push more and more recovery-ready rockets down the line, which is why today's rocket looks like a recovery vehicle, but due to customer requirements, we will not be recovering the first stage from today's mission. Stay tuned for details about our next recovery mission, though. That event is coming up later this year.
LD avionics mission.
Go ahead, avionics.
Sequence 69, avionics terminal abort checks complete.
Roger, thank you.
We've had an update from Mission Control that we are in a hold due to high winds, as we knew might be the case today. The team in Mission Control have recycled the clock to T-minus 12 minutes, and we are waiting there in that hold. We'll bring you more updates as we get them from Mission Control. All operators, this is the LD moving to a recycle to a T-minus 12-minute hold point. Stage LD on mission.
LD stage.
Yes, please confirm bleed valves are open.
Confirm.
And confirm that the OFVs for LOX top off. Yes, we're not that.
Please repeat, Ali.
Never mind. Disregard, please.
Copy.
LDGC on mission.
Go ahead, GC.
LV secured on the pad. ECS is enabled.
Copy. Thank you, GC. All operators, this is the LD on mission. We are holding at T-minus 12 minutes, and the current status is that we're blocked by ground winds at this time. We'll look for a favorable trend in the winds, and then we'll proceed with the count. So stand by for a new T0 and for us to proceed to the count. All operators continue to monitor critical systems and be prepared for a go, no-go on restarting of the count. Beacon LD on mission.
LD Vicon.
Yes, sir. I'll stand by, never mind. Jump the gun. Beacon LD on mission.
LD Beacon.
Yes, sir. Confirm that the VMS system is ready for clock reset.
Affirmative.
Yeah, it looks like I didn't take my hold earlier, so I'll retry it now. All operators, this is the LD on mission. We had a little trouble with the clock reset, but we're, as you can see, holding at T-minus 12 minutes at this time, and we're looking for a window of opportunity with the ground winds to be favorable. So stand by for commencement of the count and a new T0 time.
If you're just joining us for today's NROL 199 mission, we are in a hold at T-minus 12 minutes while we wait for ground level winds to subside. As a reminder though, today's window remains open until 7 a.m. UTC or 7 p.m. New Zealand time, so there's still time to make it to space yet. Enjoy though these beautiful views of Electron on the pad at LC1 while we wait for an update on weather from Mission Control. Thanks for joining us for today's Antipodean adventure launch. As we mentioned earlier, we are in a T-minus 12-minute hold for weather at the moment as we wait for ground level winds to calm down. So while we wait to launch a rocket, you could get started on launching your career with Rocket Lab. We have open roles across the US, New Zealand and Canada. Check out what your career could look like. Visit our website to check out the open roles and apply today. Thank you for waiting with us as we hold at T-minus 12 minutes for today's launch for the National Reconnaissance Office. This launch will be our 29th mission since Electron first took to the skies in 2017. Since then, Electron has delivered reliable access to orbit for civil, defence, national security and commercial customers. And as we wait for winds to cooperate with today's launch, let's take a closer look at the rocket that will carry NROL-199 to space, and also delve into the Lunar Photon spacecraft that recently set a satellite on course to the moon for NASA.
A small launcher dedicated for small satellites, Electron was the first of its kind to reach orbit when it first took to the skies in 2017, opening up access to space for small satellite operators. Today, it is the second most frequently launched U.S. rocket annually. More than 140 satellites have found their home in space across more than 24 Electron missions launched from Rocket Lab Launch Complex 1, the world's first and only private orbital spaceport. Designed, manufactured, and launched by Rocket Lab, Electron is a two-stage launch vehicle powered by liquid oxygen and rocket-grade kerosene. Much of its structures are made of advanced carbon composite material, including its propellant tanks, which is what gives Electron its sleek black look. The rocket is powered by 10 Rutherford engines, 9 at the bottom of the first stage, and a 10th space-optimized engine to power the second stage to orbit. The Rutherford engine is the world's first to use an electric pump feed cycle for orbital space travel, making use of electric motors and batteries to drive its propellant pumps. It's also 3D printed using additive manufacturing processes. Electron is also equipped with a third upper stage that serves as in-space propulsion to deploy payloads to orbit. In its most advanced form, this stage is called Photon, a spacecraft bus to support small satellite missions even beyond Earth orbit. It's to this structure that the Capstone satellite is attached, ready to be carried on its way to its lunar destination in near rectilinear halo orbit.
"28 missions with Electron done and dusted will tonight make it number 29. We'll have to wait and see if the winds cooperate. We're still in that T-minus 12-minute hold as we wait for those winds to die down. The window, though, does remain open until 7 a.m. UTC, so stick with us.
All operators, this is the LD on mission. Not really sure where the wind's going with us for today, but we're going to just want to reassemble all operators and stand by for a potential for us to proceed here. So just be heads up here for the next 10-15 minutes. We'll give you a go or not. All operators, this is the LD on mission. We've reset the countdown clock now to a T0 target of 063800 UTC, which is 183800 local time. I can confirm that I'm actively monitoring mission cord, LV cord, range cord, and safety net, and stand by for a go-no-go pull at T-minus 12 minutes. And all operators, I should say that we're going to give it a go here with the winds not being favorable at the moment, but expecting we might have a window to T0. We may find ourselves recycling again for one more opportunity before the window closes today. So be ready for that possibility. All operators, this is the LD on mission, proceeding with the go-no-go sequence stage.
Stage is go.
Avionics.
Avionics is go.
GNC.
GNC is go.
Beacon.
Beacon is go.
T1.
T1 is go.
GC.
GC is go.
PLS.
PLS is go.
RSO.
RSO is go.
MET.
MET is monitoring the winds and hoping for the best.
Very good, thank you, sir. MM.
MM is go.
SVMD.
SVMD is go.
LD sub.
LD sub is go.
Go-no-go sequence is complete. We are now T-minus 11 minutes, 14 seconds and counting. We are go for terminal count at T-minus 10 minutes. From this time, the 3-word hold procedure is in effect.
Well, there you go. A positive update there from Mission Control as we hope for the best with those winds. The clock has been restarted and a new T0 time set for 6:38 p.m. local time or 6:38 a.m. UTC. So onward with launch for NROL 199.
GC, LD on mission.
LDGC.
Yes, sir. Please proceed with sequence 56, pad terminal checks.
Copy, proceeding with sequence 56. LDGC on mission.
Go ahead, GC.
Stage 1 igniter pressures verified, hydraulic pressures verified, pad terminal checks complete.
Copy, GC. Avionics, LD on mission.
LD avionics.
Yes, sir. Please proceed with sequence 57, avionics terminal checks.
Copy, proceeding with 57. Expander switch to high power. Flight.
The team started bright and early this morning to get Electron prepped for launch. As we approach our new T0, here's a bit more about what goes into launch day for Rocket Lab.
A small launcher dedicated for small satellites, Electron was the first of its kind to reach orbit when it first took to the skies in 2017, opening up access to space for small satellite operators. Today, it is the second most frequently launched U.S. rocket annually. More than 140 satellites have found their home in space across more than 24 Electron missions launched from Rocket Lab Launch Complex 1, the world's first and only private orbital spaceport. Designed, manufactured, and launched by Rocket Lab, Electron is a two-stage launch vehicle powered by liquid oxygen and rocket-grade kerosene. Much of its structures are made of advanced carbon composite material, including its propellant tanks, which is what gives Electron its sleek black look. The rocket is powered by 10 Rutherford engines, 9 at the bottom of the first stage, and a 10th space-optimized engine to power the second stage to orbit. The Rutherford engine is the world's first to use an electric pump feed cycle for orbital space travel, making use of electric motors and batteries to drive its propellant pumps. It's also 3D printed using additive manufacturing processes. Electron is also equipped with a third upper stage that serves as in-space propulsion to deploy payloads to orbit. In its most advanced form, this stage is called Photon, a spacecraft bus to support small satellite missions even beyond Earth orbit. It's to this structure that the Capstone satellite is attached, ready to be carried on its way to its lunar destination in near rectilinear halo orbit.
A little bit of a 2-for-1 there. Let's try that again. Here's what goes into the lead up to launch.
The countdown to launch is the most closely watched clock in mission control. Here are some of the things that take place at each milestone after the countdown begins. At T-minus 9 hours before launch, our crew are on site at Launch Complex 1 to configure the pad for launch and prepare to power on Electron for the day's operations. Meanwhile, our operators in mission control start checking in to their stations. At T-minus 7 hours, our operators will brief the launch director with a status update. Mission Control also receives its first weather check on what to expect at liftoff, including cloud cover and predicted wind speed at Launch Complex 1. Now, at T-minus 6 hours, our ground tracking stations begin to power up before Electron is prepared to go vertical on the pad. Soon afterward, Electron's Rutherford engines are tested with a short burst of engine fire to confirm all systems are operating as they should. At T-minus 5 hours through T-minus 3 hours, our range safety team runs through safety status checks for those on and around our launch complex on the peninsula, making sure the team and the public are kept safe during the day's launch attempt. Fuel loading of kerosene will soon begin on Electron, while additional vertical systems checks take place and the pad is evacuated. It's T-minus 3 hours now, and soon liquid oxygen will begin to flow into Electron. As the rocket slowly fills with this oxidizer, Electron's black body turns white as humidity in the air around the rocket freezes into a thin sheet of ice due to the freezing temperatures of the liquid oxygen inside. With 1 hour left to launch, it's crunch time for our operators. Vehicle cameras are switched to their launch settings. Our avionics team enables Electron for flight. Our final weather brief comes through, and the range safety status will confirm that the area is clear for launch. With 12 minutes left in the count, our launch director runs the go, no-go poll with our operators to make the final decision to proceed with the launch. All final checks are completed before we reach T-minus 2 minutes in the countdown. At this critical point, the countdown auto sequence begins and Electron's flight computers take over. The launch director begins counting down to liftoff from T-minus 10 seconds before the engines ignite 3 seconds before launch, and Electron lifts off the pad at T0 on its way to complete its next mission with the satellites on board.
With about 4 minutes left on the clock, we are quickly coming up to the switch over to Electron's flight computers to run the rest of the countdown to liftoff. Our mission operators will call out status checks from their stations as the launch director keeps an eye on launch procedures before counting us down to liftoff of today's Antipodean adventure. Let's open up Mission Control comms and listen into the final count. I'll be back with you shortly after liftoff.
On mission.
LD, LSO, go ahead.
Yes, we're looking for your go on winds.
Go from LSO.
Copy that. Thank you, sir. All operators of the LD on mission. From now on, there should be no red flags on your critical LCCs. VCON LD on mission.
LD VCON.
Yes, sir. Confirm all expected flight computer ASGOs are green.
Confirmed ASGOs are green.
VCON lock auto sequence and confirm.
Auto sequence is locked.
We are go for auto sequence start at T-minus 2 minutes. LD is go for launch. All operators, this is the LD on mission. We've aborted the count once again. Sorry, the winds were not good here at the end, so we're going to recycle around. Let's go to our board sequence once again. Sequence 68. GC LD on mission. Please secure LV on pad and enable ECS.
Securing launch vehicle on pad, enabling ECS.
All missions, this is the LD on mission. I should say we had to go to 67. No standby. And avionics LD on mission.
LD avionics.
Yes, sir. Please proceed with avionics terminal board checks.
Commencing sequence 69.
And stage LD on mission.
LD stage.
Yes, sir. Please proceed with sequence 70 stage terminal abort checks.
Copy, proceeding sequence 70.
The vehicle is on external power.
And all operators, we're going to get through the abort sequence and recycle back around for one more attempt within our launch window. So appreciate you working through our recycle, your abort checks and recycle smartly. Unfortunately, as you heard, we have had another hold on the pad due to the weather. Let's stick with mission control while we learn if we can make another attempt this evening.
LD avionics mission.
Go ahead, avionics.
Sequence 69, avionics terminal board checks complete.
Roger, thank you, sir. All operators on mission, this is the LD moving to recycle to a T-minus 12 hold point. And all operators are proceeding with the recycle sequence.
LD stage mission.
Go ahead, stage.
Stage terminal abort checks.
Very good, thank you, stage. And stage, can you confirm that bleed valves are open?
Confirm.
And stage, if you also could confirm that the OFVs are configured for LOX top-up.
Confirm. Both OFB are open.
PLS LD on mission.
LD, PLS.
Yes, sir. Please proceed with LOX top-up.
In work.
GC LD on mission.
LDGC.
Yes, sir. Please reprime the igniter system as needed.
Roger.
All operators, this is the LD. We are at T-minus 12 minutes and holding. Current status is we're on hold for a wind window. We're going to go ahead and just recycle back around to take our last opportunity. So we'll have one last shot here. All operators, please continue to monitor critical systems. Be prepared for a go, no-go on restarting of the count. I'll be resetting the T0 in just a minute.
LDGC on mission.
Go ahead, GC.
LV secured on the pad. ECS is enabled.
All operators, we reset the T0 clock to T0 time of 065500 UTC or 185500 local time. Stand by for a go, no-go pull at T-minus 12 minutes on time. I'm not on LD. I'm sorry. This is the LD on mission with the go no go sequence stage.
Stage is go.
Avionics.
Avionics is go.
GNC.
GNC is go.
VCon.
VCon is go.
T1.
T1 is go.
GC.
GC is go.
PLS.
PLS is go.
RSO.
RSO is go.
MET.
And MET is monitoring the winds and hoping they see a trend on the downside.
Very good. Thank you, sir. MM.
MM is go.
SVMD.
SVMD go.
LD sub.
LD sub is go.
Concludes the go no go sequence. We are T-minus 10 minutes and 20 seconds and counting. We are go for terminal count at T-minus 10 minutes. From this time, the 3-word hold procedure is in effect.
Okay, so with our third final go or no-go poll, we are at T-minus 10 minutes and counting. We are going to give launch one final attempt this evening before the window closes at 7 p.m. New Zealand local time. Let's listen in to mission control if we can make that launch attempt.
LDGC on mission.
Go ahead, GC.
Stage 1 igniter pressure is verified, hydraulic pressure is verified, pad terminal checks complete.
Roger, thank you, GC. Avionics, this is LD on mission.
LD avionics.
Yes, sir. Please proceed with sequence 57 avionics terminal checks.
Copy. S-band to switch type out for flight. Stage 1 and Stage 2 high voltage batteries are ready for flight.
Stage LD on mission.
LD stage.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Please proceed with sequence 58 stage terminal checks.
Copy. Proceeding sequence 58.
GCLD on mission.
LDGC.
Yes, sir. Please proceed with sequence 59 launch pad ready.
Proceeding with the launch pad ready sequence.
All engine bleeds are nominal and all engines are ready. LD stage mission.
Go ahead, stage.
Stage terminal checks complete.
Roger. Thank you, stage.
LD avionics mission.
Go ahead, avionics.
Sequence 57 avionics terminal checks complete.
Roger. Thank you, avionics.
Unfortunately, we've just heard from Mission Control that we are going to stand down from today's launch attempt due to the high ground winds. We did try our best. We have plenty of days remaining in the window though, so we'll be back on the pad soon to send NROL 199 to space. Keep an eye on our social media channels for launch updates. Thank you for sticking with us tonight. This is Mission Control, signing off.